Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Chaudhary and today I'm going to show you a book about Fantastic Mr. Fox by my favorite writer, Roald Dahl. He used to be a spy fighter, a chocolate historian and a medical inventor. He shifted on to writing children's books like Fantastic Mr. Fox, Roald Dahl, The Twits, The SEO Trot, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Charlie and the Glass Elevator, etc. The characters in this book is Mr. Fantastic Fox, his family, and three nasty farmers. Mr. Fox used to be a very clever fox. Every evening he would creep into the valley and steal things because he loved his family so much. Mostly the story is about determination and love. He would take chickens from Farmer Boggis and ducks and geese from Farmer Buns and turkeys from Farmer Bean. So, let me tell you about the three farmers. The three farmers were Farmer Boggis, Farmer Buns, and Farmer Bean. Farmer Boggis was enormous because he used to eat three boiled chickens smothered with dumplings for breakfast, lunch, and supper. And Buns, he was a duck farmer and geese farmer, and he used to crush the geese livers into disgusting paste. He would take a spoon, take a scoop, and put it all over the donuts, and that gave him a beastly temper and a tummy ache. And Farmer Bean didn't eat anything at all. He would drink strong cider. He was thin as a pencil, and the cleverest of them all. Now let's move on to Mr. Fox. Mr. Fox is even more clever than Bean. He saves his family from starving and dying from thirst because the farmers are fed up, because he would go into their farm and steal a few things for him and his family to eat. So the farmers started digging him up from the ground. Mr. Fox dug even further down until he got an idea. He tunneled through the soil and got to the places, storehouses and chicken houses number 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And they totally don't know what was going on. And in the tunnel wasn't just Mr. Fox and his family. It was Mr. Weasel, Mr. Mole, Mr. Badger, and Mr. Weasel. So he made a feast with chickens, ducks, geese, and turkeys, and especially cider. This is a very good story. You should really read it. It has many chapters, and it's so interesting you could finish it in 2 hours if you're great loving books. And when this feast is going on in this story, you can see that they are having lots of fun. And And the poor farmers sitting in the rain. They didn't even have umbrellas, and they didn't go home. They had tents, and 180 people around their farm, around the whole town. So there was no escape for the fox. But eventually, he was having his own fun. He announced that they would make a little town in the city with roads, streets, and houses. And he said he would go shopping for them all, for Mr. Rabbit, Mr. Weasel, Mr. Mole, Mr. Badger, and Mr. Badger. So you can find this on online websites or the bookstore. The book's first publisher was George Allen and Unwin, and the next publisher was published by Penguin Random House UK. Here we can see Mr. Fox who had a good snap with some chickens, and he's taking them to his home. So let's see and read the first page. Here are the contents. First is the three farmers, Mr. Fox, the shooting, the terrible shovels, the terrible tractors, the race, we'll never let him go, says Bunce. The foxes begin to starve. Mr. Fox has a plan. Boggs' chicken house number 1, a surprise for Mrs. Fox Badger. Bunce's giant storehouse. Badger has doubts. Bean's secret cider cellar. Very rhyming. The woman, the great feast, still waiting. So here we have this. The chapter 1, the three farmers. Down in the valley where there were three farmers, the owners of these farms had done well. They were rich men. Good. They were also nasty men. I don't like nasty people. All three of them were as about nasty and mean as any men you could meet. Oh God. Their names are farmers Boggus, Bunce, and Bean. Okay. Boggus was a chicken farmer. He kept thousands of chickens. He was enormous. I think he's this one. This was because he ate 3 boiled chickens smothered with dumplings every day for breakfast, lunch, and supper. 3? That could feed 13 men. Bunce was a duck and goose farmer. He kept thousands of ducks and geese. He was pot-bellied. He was so short his chin would have been under water in a shallow end of any swimming pool in the world. He's short. Maybe he's still my knee. His food was donuts and goose livers. He smashed the livers into disgusting paste and stuffed the paste into the donuts. This diet gave him a tummy ache and a beastly temper. Wow, that's disgusting. Bean was a turkey and apple farmer. He kept thousands of turkeys in an orchard full of apple trees. He never ate food at all. What did he eat? Instead, he drank gallons of strong cider which he made from apples in his orchard. He was thin as a pencil and the cleverest of them all. Okay, maybe the cider makes him. Boggus, Bunce, and Bean, one fat, one short, one lean. These horrible crooks, so different in looks, were none less equally mean. This is what the children round about used to sing when they saw them. You should respect. And chapter 2 is Mr. Fox. Here we see Mr. Fox asking her wife. Here it says, "Well, my darling, what shall it be this time?" She says, Nothing. I don't know what she says. And here's Mrs. Fox. The two small foxes. Where's the fourth one? I don't know. Here, Mr. Fox, Chapter 2. On a hill above the valley there was a wood. In the wood was a whole huge tree. Under the tree was a hole. In the hole lived Mr. Fox, Mrs. Fox, and their four small foxes. As soon as it got dark, Mr. Fox would say to Mrs. Fox, "Well, my darling, what shall it be this time? A plump chicken from Boggis, a duck, or a goose from Bunce, or a nice turkey from Bean?" And when Mrs. Fox told him what she wanted, Mr. Fox would creep down into the valley in the darkness of the night and help himself. Boggis, Bunce, and Bean knew very well what was going on, and it made them wild with rage. They were not men who liked to give anything away, lest still they like anything to be stolen from them. So every night, a dark place somewhere on his own farm, hoping to catch the robber. But Mr. Fox was too clever for them. He always approached a farm with the wind blowing in his face. This meant if any person were lurking in the shadows ahead, the wind would carry the smell of that person to Mr. Fox's nose. Have you ever known that foxes can dig very fast, faster than humans? Even though they even have tractors, mechanical shovels. Thus, if Mr. Boggis was hiding behind his chicken house number 1, Mr. Fox would smell him out from 50 yards off and quickly change direction, heading for chicken house number 4 at the other end of the farm. "Dang and blast the lousy beast!" cried Boggis. "I'd like to grip his guts out," said Bunce. "He must be killed." "But how?" said Boggis. "How on earth can we catch that blitter?" Bean picked up his nose delicately with a long finger. "I have a plan. I wonder how he did that." You've never had a decent plan yet." "Shut up and listen," said Bean. "Tomorrow night we shall hide just outside the hole where the foxes live. We will wait there until he comes out. Then bang, 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 bang." "Very clever. But first we shall have to find the hole," said Bunce. "My dear Bunce, I've already found it," said the crafty Bean. "It's up in the wood on the hill. It's under a huge tree." So that's what we're going to read for today. Well, now I will tell you other features of this book. In the book, Mr. Fox outsmarts the 3 farmers when they start to dig him out, even with mechanical shovels, just like I told you. So he kept digging and digging and digging, and he almost hit the middle of the earth. So, until one day, after 3 whole days, Mr. Fox and his whole family started to starve to death. Then, as you know, Mr. Fox is a very clever fox. He hatched up a plan in seconds. He had sparks dancing in his eyes. You could see it through his pupils. And he said we could tunnel under the sand to food. But Mrs. Fox was very tired. She couldn't do anything because she was so hungry. Then Mr. Fox and his small foxes started digging, and when they reached the end, they hit a hard board of wood. One of the small foxes said, "Why is there a wood board in the middle of the soil?" he said. His father told him where we were. They were. Then they were so happy, they started dancing with enthusiasm when they went inside. And they never saw so many chickens before. So, when the most elder little fox took 3 fat chickens and went to her mother. And then she said that, "Where did you find these chickens?" She said, "Dad saved our lives. He said he would be coming after a few more visits." And her mother said, "Haven't I ever told you? Your father is truly a fantastic Mr. Fox." So that's for today. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video. Bye.